Not much of anything, right?
Now, what does throwing on lights at night mean? It means you can play ball. What else does that mean? It means they're off the streets. What else does that mean, though? It means parents can come and watch their kids. It means of community, the intangible sense of community, the social interactions can be rebuilt. The act of just throwing on lights, as insignificant as it may seem for us as news people, tells a very powerful story about what people want for this neighborhood here. And so I came back here to do the lights, and I've been coming back ever since. So much to write about here. But if you're able to start writing your own history, then you can start changing people's perceptions about your people, about your community, and about what's important to you. And you have to have more kids who are Latinos, African American, Asians going into it. There just aren't enough. And there's so much that needs to be written about. There's so many nuances to neighborhoods like this.
There are not enough of us who are pursuing management. I think that there's a misperception among some minority journalists that management is something that's very aloof and boring and statistical, and it really isn't. It's hiring, it's educating people about the process, it's training, it's mentoring, it's defining what news coverage is.
¿Cuántos comités hay? Me encantaría que la cajita dijera aviación, ¿tú sabes? As any editor will tell you, I would say 75% of my time is administrative, with meetings and budgetary considerations and supervision. I supervise a budget, and I have a relationship also with the community. And you're supervising others in their writing, which I love to do. It's important for Hispanics to be in positions of power, not only because they provide leadership for others who are coming up, but because if you are a leader within an organization, you are helping to shape that organization, and you're also building links to that community. You're building a community. But I'm not doing it because I'm a Hispanic, black, and I want, to be known in the community. I'm doing it because I think putting out the best Spanish language newspaper in the country is important to my community. We are not only crafters of words, and we not only capture news and events, but we are forging a society. We are helping a society come together, particularly a society like Miami, where you have so many nationalities, and where diversity, in a sense, is our strength, but it's also our, the sense of controversy and the sense of sometimes adversity. Young people should be aware, especially as we move into the 21st century, that Hispanics are a major part of every major city in the United States, and will become much more increasingly so. So the fact that I had both languages and could write in both languages, could interview in both languages, could translate back and forth, was an incredible asset in a community that had a great need for that in the 80s, and it continues to do so. Students need to have that sort of solid liberal arts background, but also anything else that they can add. Because it's become much more competitive than when I graduated to enter journalism.
Don't be afraid of technology, I would say. It's changing. Things are changing. Just in the last 10 years, things have changed dramatically. Learn that. It should be part of what we do. I would also say that you really have to have a wide level of interest.
Hi, Wendy. This is Liz Balmaceda returning your call. I always believe in following your interests. If you have an interest, to really kind of see it through to the end. And because I love to write, I took one journalism class in college, and that was a class that really changed my life. It's adventurous, it's exciting, but it involves a lot of discipline. And I think in the beginning it was very difficult because I was also studying full-time. I was a student in the university. So I had a full course load, and I had a full-time job at the Miami Herald as an intern. There are all kinds of obstacles, but in many ways I think you see them more as challenges, because the exciting part about the career really outweighs whatever, negative obstacles might crop up. Writing is the centerpiece of any good journalist, and of any career in journalism, even if it's television. It's very important to go through the exercise of reporting and writing. And as a young student, you can do it in your a school newspaper. You can do it for your church bulletin. You could, any place, a community newspaper, any place that will publish or print one of your stories, you should really take advantage of it and just do it. And the important thing is to see somebody that you admire and to really study what makes that person good. It's very important to be learning from, people who have done very well in their careers. The year before I won, I was a finalist in '92. First of all, I did not find out till that day of the Pulitzers that I was a finalist. And then the next year, when I found out that I was a finalist, I said, well, there's no way. I mean, there's just no way. That's it. Twice finalist, that to me is enough, And so it was a shock, and it's still amazing to me. It really still is amazing to me. But I embrace it, and I embrace whatever it means and whatever message, and I share it with everybody. When you talk about columnists across the country, there are really few of us, few journalists of color who are columnists. And I think it's so important that we're out there because I think it shows that we don't always agree. It shows that, that sometimes we even disagree with our communities. I can write with a voice now that I could have never written with at 21. I'm still learning so much. Every day, I learn so much. And I still have mentors and I still have role models. My message to young Latinos and Latinas are just embrace who you are, because that's where it all begins. It all begins with who you are, your identity. And once you know your identity and once you know your background, your city, what the sound of your voice is, then it can ring with credibility.
We need you. We're recruiting you. We want you to stay in school. We'll give you scholarships. We need you in the newsroom. You can make it in this business because if you stay with it and you're good, you will succeed.